Hi, we're gonna finish up the day 1 lesson in the distributions unit. So we're gonna do exercises 2, 3, and 4. Please note that my worksheet might look slightly different than yours, okay? But everything that I'm gonna cover is on your worksheet. So starting with exercise 2, a small company has salaries for their 50 employees as given in the table below. We need to find the mean and the standard deviation for the salary. So take a moment right now to enter these numbers in your list. Go ahead, feel free to stop the video. You're gonna put this, say, in L1. We have a frequency column, which again means there's 5 salaries at $25,000. There's 21 salaries at $32,000. So make sure you use that frequency column because you don't wanna enter the number 25,000 5 times, and you don't wanna enter 32,000 21 times. So go ahead, take a moment, stop the video, and enter that in your calculator. So after I press stat, I'll start from the beginning. Stat, edit. I've got my information in L1 and L2. Always make sure when you type in information into your list, make sure that you've typed it in properly. Otherwise, all of your answers are wrong and it can't be given short or partial credit because I don't know what your calculator did. So remember L1, L2, stat, over to calc, 1 variable stats, second and number 1, and second and number 2. Of course, if you use different lists, use whatever numbers you did. So remember X bars are mean. And then for the standard deviation, when trying to determine if I should use population or sample, go back and look at the question. It says, a small company has salaries for their 50 employees. So it's implying that that's all that they have is 50 employees. It is the population. So X bar, 42,060. And we're going to use the population standard deviation, which would be 16,567.93. I'm going to cap it off at 0.93 because we're talking about salaries, which is money. Okay. So that would be the answer for part A. Part B, what is the median of this data set? Okay, the median for the first part there, scroll down. Median is 32,000. Okay, so to answer that question, the median is 32,000. Why is the median considerably lower than the mean or the average? Okay, so the median was 32,000 again. The average was 42,000. So the median and mean both measure the centers of data. Those are known as like the middle of data. So the mean is an average, okay? So this really big salary, okay, the person who's probably in charge of everyone at this company or maybe the owner, that really big salary is influencing all of these numbers, okay? The mean is going to give us the average of all of these numbers. So take the lower salaries and the higher salaries and put them all together. The median, that's when, if you do it by hand, it's when you list out all these salaries in least to greatest order and then work your way in to find which one's in the middle. So which one is the better one to look at when you're trying to figure out the center of this data? When there are outliers in the data, like this number here, that's an outlier. An outlier is a number or numbers in the data set that don't seem to match the rest. Whenever there are outliers in the data set, you want to use the mean, or the median, to find the center of data more accurately. Okay, the median of 32,000 is a better number than the average to describe the center, because in this data set there are outliers such as the 120,000. If you ever listen or read an article on real estate, when they talk about the pricing of homes in, let's say, the town of Amherst, they will always use the median. They will never say the average house price in Amherst is blank. It's always the median because in any community, there are really expensive homes sometimes and then not so expensive homes sometimes. So we don't want the $1 million+ homes to influence the price of a community because that may not be representative of the community, okay? The median is more representative when there's outliers in the data, okay? And again, a common example is real estate. You always hear real estate talk about the median value home in a certain town or village. Next one up, number 3. So the vacation days used by the 15 employees, that kind of implies to me that that's it. There's total 15 employees at this place. Over the past 2 years are listed below. What percentage of the I shouldn't say scores, what percentage of the sick days are one standard deviation of the mean above the data set? So same as last time, stat edit, enter those numbers in your list. It said there should be 15 numbers. So when you're done, make sure the last number in your list is the 15th number in your list. If you have one more or one less, that's incorrect. So make sure you fix it. So take a moment to enter those in, stop the video. So stat, over to calc. I've got it in list 4, so I've got to remember to use list 4. Don't want to make a mistake like I did last time. Clear out the frequency list because I didn't make a frequency list. Okay, so we've got the average, okay, or the mean. Remember, the mean, the average, X bar, those are all the same number. There's only a bar over the 3. Only the 3 is repeating, only the 3 gets a bar. I'm going to use the population standard deviation, 3 point, and it doesn't say where to round to, but whenever a question doesn't say where to round to, go out at least 3 to 4 places, okay? So if I want to know how many of these sick days fall within one standard deviation of the mean, you've got to do 4.13 plus a standard deviation and 4.13 minus a standard deviation. Okay? So 0.8703 and 7.3963, that's a 3. So if I look at how many days fall between that, so between 0.87 and maxing out at 7.3, that would mean this one works, 1 works, 0 is too little, 6 is fine, 8's too big, 4 works, 7 works, 1, 11's too big, 3, 5, and 1. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 out of 15. So what's 10 out of 15 as a percentage? Oops. At this point, again, you could just leave it that way. If you want to see it as a whole percentage, you can always multiply by 100. So 66.6 repeating percent, that would closely match choice 2. Okay, and then we've got one more exercise, exercise 4. Go ahead, stop the video to read over the question. Part A, we've got the weight of a cereal box is represented by the letter W here. Which range of weights includes all the weights of cereal boxes within 1.5 standard deviations of the mean? Well, this question did all the hard work. We don't need to put this in our calculator. It said up here the mean is 20 ounces. It said the standard deviation is 2 ounces. So if the mean is 20 ounces, we can add on the standard deviation, which would be that would be the sample there because they didn't weigh every single box, it seems like. So it said 1.5 standard deviations. Well, if one standard deviation is 2 ounces, then a half standard deviation must be 1 ounce. So 1.5 standard deviations must be 3. 2 ounces is 1 standard deviation. Therefore, a half a standard deviation must be half of this, or 1. 2 and 1 make 3. So 23. If I do the mean minus the 1.5 standard deviations, I would get 17. So between 17 and 23 ounces. Choice 1. And part B. Which of these values is the best estimate of the number of boxes in the sample with weights that are, yep, I did write sample. I thought I wrote population a second ago. That are more than 1.5 standard deviations above the mean. Okay, if 1.5 standard deviations was 23 above the mean, so I'm looking for anything above 23 because it wants to know what's more than 1.5 standard deviations above the mean. This was 1.5 standard deviations, so more than that would be above 23. So if I look over here, above 23 would include 24 and 25. So now I can't really tell exactly what this is, but I don't know, maybe like 4 and 2, for example. 4 and 2 would add up to 6. And it's not like there's any other choice that's remotely close to 6. 2 would be too little. 17 is out of the question, so is 36. So choice 2 would be the answer there. So that's the end of day 1. You can work on your homework, and then the answers will be up shortly for the day 1 homework. And then we'll meet back on Monday to do lesson 3. We are going to skip over lesson 2 just because it's not going to work on via video. So lesson 2 is being skipped. We will meet back with lesson 3 next week. Take care.